Sassy, not removed, unrooted, players in front of him, Mako is barely alive, but this is it for Sen.
Sentinels just beat DRX 2-0, and the difference in spacing between the two teams could not be more evident. And I think that's one of the biggest reasons why DRX looked so bad against Sentinels. Because, don't get me wrong, Sentinels played good. They didn't play great. It was a pretty messy and scrappy game, but DRX certainly did not do themselves any favors with the way that they played. So we're going to take a look at that now. Alright, so we're going to start with round 13, which is DRX's attack pistol. And what they're going to do is they're going to do an A main take and transition that into an A execute.
Yeah, and he's way out into the open right now. There's really no sign.
The DRX with a nice execute. The spacing is really good. Sun comes in, they clear short together.
40 seconds now until the next recon though.
And DRX get the plant down.
Sassy holding on to the drone though, waiting for that one.
And now we're going to see some of the adjustments that Sentinels have made since the last time they played Haven. And one of the key things is they're going to have Saucy play a little bit closer now to the choke point. In the past, Saucy was standing here during one of the Gen.G retakes, throwing his dart up there, right? This time, they have Saucy a little bit closer, and he's going to drone through the smoke because his dart isn't available. And what that's going to allow Zekken to do is have someone closer to him and able to trade him when they do their retake. So we're going to see Buzz is going to try to walk into the smoke in a few seconds to try to time the drone. Sentinels is basically just going to get a free fight on him because Zekken is going to be jumping around breaking crosshair. And because Saucy is so close, he's able to immediately help get the kill.
Zelsis, aftershock, down and out in through the corner. Drone does connect and tag onto him. It's DRX, Buzz, he tried to play inside and in front of most of his util. Sen are overwhelming!
As the trades come out, we get a 1v2, and this time Sentinels will manage to win said 1v2. But I think this round is a good example of how immediately we're seeing that Sentinels has better spacing. Alright, we're going to contrast that round we just saw of Sentinels versus DRX with this round against Gen.G, the first time they played at Champs. We're going to see Gen.G are going to throw the same smoke, and they're going to have Texture playing it, right? But because of where Saucy's positioned, no one is there to trade Zekken when he runs into the smoke. So Saucy's standing all the way back here, and Zekken's just on his own, right? The dart comes out, the Omen Flash comes out on Sentinel's side, and I'm going to assume that they also throw the stun here, because this is part of like the standard retake. But because no one is in a good position to trade off Zekken, Texture just gets this free kill in the smoke. And so, good job on Sentinels for identifying that and adjusting it before their next Haven match. We're going to move on now to round 18, and this is going to be a round where both teams fight over the A main square. We're going to see Zekken get himself into a very advanced position, and DRX is going to try to fight back for this space.
DRX is still looking like they're eager to try and refight this one. The paranoia, but did they expect this one?
Fortunately, DRX do not manage to clear Zekken, and we're going to get a very messy fight. Saucy manages to get some tags, and a lot of DRX players are chunked. But all this chaos allows Flashback to walk through B, right? He's managed to find a gap, and what he's going to walk through. Now, the issue is, after he gets a kill on Saucy, as we're going to see in a few moments, he puts the cage here, but he doesn't actually try to go through it and onto A. So what ends up happening is that even though DRX technically have a huge advantage right now, their players are just going to run it down, assuming that side is clear, and be unable to kill Zelsis, who's on this angle. If Flashback had decided to, walk through and pinch onto the guy on site, I think they win this round. Or Flashback can call, look, I just got a pick. Let's rotate, right? Like, we've basically split their map in half. This is all the space that DRX have now. And so I think you should call a pivot with this. If you call a pivot, if Flashback doesn't feel comfortable with pushing through. If Flashback wants to push through, you pinch on the remaining guy on site, that's a round win. But we're going to see when it plays out that that's just simply not the case. Because Zelsis is going to position here, he's going to find two, and essentially turn the round back into Sentinel's favor. All because Flashback was not willing to push through. And it wasn't communicated by DRX what they wanted to do.
Played Zelsis! 3k to finish it, up to 11 now for Sen, and at this point it really does feel like full momentum on display.
Alright, this next round, round 21, is incredibly chaotic. And we're going to see that immediately. Both teams, again, are going to contest for the A main square. This time, Sentinels are doing kind of a different start. DRX are very audibly stomping down. And what they're going to do is they just had Bane throw a dart. And it's going to land right up here. Right, that dart tags Saucy, who decides to run and jump at the short. And what Bane's going to do is he's going to start Sova ulting. Right? He can start Sova ulting. And that's going to allow Buzz and Foxy9 to start scaling up A. And in a few moments, what we're going to see is we're going to see a breach ult come through as well. Now, The issue with setting that breach ult is that these players are not in a good position to capitalize off it, right? They haven't taken short control. And so the whole rhythm of this round is messed up because Sentinels have a guy spraying with the Odin down this angle. These two DRX players are too afraid to walk down. There is no drone to get them into short because Bane is using his Sova ult. And so what happens is Buzz ends up dashing out onto site by himself. The DRX spacing is really bad. Buzz just has to essentially clear all of sight by himself while their breach is still running up and he has no short presence. So he ends up having to worry about potentially someone flooding in from CT, anybody on site who he suspects might have been hit by the ult, and the players in short. And he's essentially just by himself the entire round. And I think this is just a sign of like how bad DRX's spacing is and how Sentinels was able to capitalize off it. This round looks so much more different if you have your DRX players up in short. Like we saw in the pistol round. I'll pull up that pistol round again, and you'll see that the DRX players are both standing right here when their breach stun comes out, right? And a breach stun covers way less space than a breach ult. But now on a round with a breach ult that goes like this, we're not going to get somebody into short before we do it because we feel the need to have to go and rush the moment that we throw our Sova ult down. The crazy thing is we don't even end up getting a kill with the Sova ult. And so let this round play out, and you're going to see that's exactly what's going to happen. This neon wall is going to slow them down so much that by the time the breach ult is wearing off, there's nobody. Like, their Sentinels is flooding out. The DRX just get absolutely wiped.
Players in front of him, Mako is barely alive, but this is it for Sen. Close down the curtain on that one. They are the career killers at this point.
So Sentinels survives, and DRX has to play for their tournament lives in the next game. Thanks for watching.